Hello, welcome everybody, and thank you all for joining us. It's a huge pleasure for me to present in this event today. I'm Mustafa Tan, and I have been with Proto team for almost 20 years. I'm acting as the product manager and the software architect for Proto Structure. I'm really excited and happy to talk about the new features and some of the advanced tools in Proto Structure 2022. The focus of Proto Structure 2022 and 2023 is to introduce as many modeling capabilities as possible to increase the modeling efficiency, implement new design codes and languages to extend the reach of our customers, provide a constant improvement in performance, develop more BIM integration tools for better coordination. We have released Proto Structure 2022 on the 1st of March, and after that we have released 7 maintenance updates, each including major new features, significant performance and stability improvements, and we wanted to release these features right away to our maintained users without waiting for a new major release. The last update was on 13th of October, and we are continually working to implement user feedback. We are also planning to release another update before the end of the year, which will again include new features and improvements. Before proceeding, if you want to learn more about what's done in these releases, you can always visit the release history page in our website. Here you will see a complete list of new features and improvements with detailed explanations. Our philosophy in Proto Structure 2022 is to give you as many new features as possible through the new maintenance updates. So, without further ado, let's proceed with the recap of features introduced in Proto Structure 2022. With Proto Structure 2022, we have supported Polish, Romanian, Serbian, and Slovene languages. You will be able to set UI and report languages separately. Other supported languages are Spanish, Portuguese, English, and Turkish. Imperial units can now be used during modeling, analysis, and design. Also, you can use imperial units on documentation, results review, and detailing. The important part of this feature is that you can switch between unit systems at any time. So if you are comfortable with working with metric units, for example, you can start your project with metric units, and after you finish the design, you can switch to imperial units for presentation or documentation. You can do that anytime in your project. With Proto Structure 2022, new codes are implemented and existing code support is extended. Among the important codes are Peruvian seismic codes, Colombian wind loads, and Peruvian wind loads. And also we have started implementing Colombian seismic codes, which is still work in progress. And also we are currently working on RC beam design and RC column design according to Brazilian and Peruvian codes as well. An important seismic code that we support with Proto Structure is the Peruvian seismic standards. You can select the region, province, and district, and all necessary parameters and acceleration spectra will be automatically calculated. All seismic checks, including irregularities, drift checks, and ductility requirements are automatically conducted. Colombia seismic codes are currently work in progress, and we hope to include them before the end of the year. SAF is an initiative from Nemetschek Group to improve collaboration between structural engineers by developing an open exchange format for exchanging data between structural analysis software based on Excel format. SAF format focuses on a practical, easy-to-use design that structural engineers can use in daily practice, and it is meant as an open format. SAF communication is currently supported by leading structural and architectural software, and Prota is also participating in this work group. The first implementation of the SAF format is provided with the ProtaStructure 2022, and more to come with the future updates. As you know, we had introduced bidirectional IFC communication with the previous ProtaStructure 2021. But with the new version of ProtaStructure, improvements are made due to user feedback to take different variations in IFC models into account. Both building analysis and FE floor analysis results can now be obtained using the same interface. And also, analysis results can be exported to Excel if you need to interpret and refine the results further to suit your needs. ProtaStructure is able to export the analysis model to other structural software. With ProtaStructure 2022, SAP 2000 and ETABS links have been enhanced to export finite element floor and foundation models, in addition to the building analysis model. All selected analytical models can now be exported at once. In addition to this, time-dependent concrete material properties and stage construction data are also communicated to SAP 2000. One of the revolutionary features in ProtaStructure 2022 is our new and flexible loading system. You don't have to worry. All the standard loads are automatically calculated and decomposed on the members. But you may still need to apply additional loads in any orientation and any load case. For this purpose, you can use the new interactive load editor. For example, you can now apply horizontal loads on the beams along their lateral axis. In addition to this, point and uniform loads can be manually applied on truss joints and truss members. You can also visualize the loads in the structure in 3D. You can view the entire story with the loads applied and even insert new loads on this view. I'm confident that you will find a lot of flexibility and interactivity in our new load editor. Thanks to the new loading framework, you can now create more than one gravity and live load case and assign loads to them. In addition to this, you can specify if these cases will contribute to seismic masses or not. In the previous versions of ProtaStructure, our users could create the load cases but could not assign loads in them. You can also copy loads between members for any load case and load type using a single user interface. Another essential type of loading is the static and dynamic load of soils on basement walls and parts of the building that act as a soil retaining structure. ProtaStructure 2022 allows you to specify your soil profile, water table, and surcharge loads. Then, static and dynamic loads, soil loads, will be automatically calculated and assigned to the shear walls and basement walls. You can of course do further editing on the calculated loads and even create a detailed report. The new load editor brings additional benefits when it comes to core walls. Now, core walls can easily be loaded before or after panel merging. Just launch the load editor and load the panels. No matter how complicated the core wall geometry, the separate panel information is always kept even if they are merged. As the variety of the available loading options has increased, a more advanced load copying functionality is developed. You can now copy loads between members for any load case and load type using a single user interface. Let's insert an infill wall on a beam and copy it to the other beams. The wall type and the openings will be exactly copied and adapted to the new beam length if it is different than the beam of origin. In the previous versions of ProtoStructure, ripped slab loads were decomposed by yield lines methods or finite element decomposition method before the building analysis. From now on, rip beams are automatically included in building analysis model and loads are transferred intrinsically during the analysis using the connectivity information. Here on this model, you can see that rip beams are automatically included in the global building analysis model and load transfer is automatically done. ProtoStructure 2022 can optionally calculate a detailed load profile for the infill walls with openings. The exact position and dimension of the openings are considered, and the load profile is calculated accordingly. A small but effective feature is that the infill walls are now smarter. Height of infill walls can now be automatically adjusted when the story height is changed. With ProtoStructure 2022, you can create steel domes with the help of a highly parametric wizard. Steel domes were among the mostly requested features. You can independently control the geometrical and section properties for crown, longitudinal, latitude, brace, and purlin members. After you insert the dome, you can easily load it using the load editor. After the analysis, you can design the dome members. Curved frame members are one of the mostly encountered structural members in design of structures because of their appealing architectural usage. In the new version of ProtoStructure, we now make it possible for you to insert curved frame members in any plane orientation and load them freely thanks to the new load editor. We strive for improving the performance and technology of our products in almost every release we deliver. The software and hardware technology is advancing at an unprecedented rate, so it's a must for every product to adapt to these changes. In ProtoStructure 2022, we focused on increasing the performance of 3D visualization engine and user interaction. We achieved performance gains between 3 to 10 folds depending on the model size. The latest ProtoStructure got even more practical. You can now copy and move frame members and steel domes interactively. Copy and move commands also support multiple members. You can select multiple trusses, multiple steel domes or frames and move or copy them as you wish. As I've said, with the latest ProtoStructure, you can now copy and move frame members, which I'm showing you on the screen now. In addition to this, in steel modeling, inserting multiple frame members in a single shot is almost always necessary. We have developed a new functionality allowing you to insert multiple frames between two selected members. Offsets, eccentricities, and angle of the frames are automatically adjusted according to the selected primary members. With the latest maintenance updates of ProtoStructure 2022, you can now assign support types to the ends of the beams and frame members. Previous versions of ProtoStructure allowed supports only at the bottom nodes of columns and walls. With this significant new feature, a broader range of structures can be modeled and more flexibility is achieved in modeling. Supports assigned to beams and frames can be visualized in 3D. Another handy feature developed with the latest protostructure is the ability to narrow down the selection with dynamic criteria. You can narrow the selection by the story, member type, material type, and individual members. In Protostructure 2022, we have developed quite a flexible rebar patterning system. We have put in place several preset rebar patterns that will meet your beam design and curtailment needs, such as multiple rebar layers. Slab Design user interface is redeveloped. It's now more user-friendly, enabling you to copy-paste the bars and to see the details of the design in a drill-down approach. Providing transparent design documentation to our users is the #1 priority for us. We have been investing a lot of time to fulfill this, actually. The design reports for reinforced concrete beams now include more details, including formulas, step-by-step calculations, and code references. This is currently in progress. We are working to improve it before releasing it to our users. We expect more to come next year on reinforced concrete columns and steel design as well. Design reports for pile caps and pad footings now include more details, including formulas, step-by-step calculations, and code references. A feature which has one of the highest vote from our customers is the integrated mat foundation report. We have developed a detailed report that brings together all aspects of a mat foundation design, including FE contours, soil pressures, rebar design, punching checks, and so on. An essential feature in the latest release of Protostructure is the design and detailing of formworks and formwork scaffolds. In some countries, engineers must submit the design calculations for formwork scaffolds and facade scaffolds. Protostructure designs the formworks according to Eurocode specifications and decides on the spacing of joists, stringers, and shores automatically. We have done a lot of work improving the analysis framework and giving you a seamless experience in terms of results review and analysis. Here, we are isolating the floors of the building and analyzing them under vertical loads only. This approach is preferred by engineers who want to design against vertical loads by approximating to conventional methods by short frame analysis. This is also preferred because it also eliminates the frame effect due to different axial loading in a 3D building analysis. Protostructure 2022 makes it easy to analyze the floors separately. You can control the mesh sensitivity and other mesh parameters, such as inclusion of column outlines in the finite element mesh. You can review the finite element results very easily by quickly switching between story in analysis post-processors. When you are done, you can proceed with the design of the slab reinforcements using vertical loads only. So, finite element floor and foundation modules are now fully integrated with main program, and it will give you a more seamless experience. We have unified meshing engine and data structures. We now achieve faster and improved visualization with better RAM, CPU, and GPU utilization. Finite element contouring is also improved. We have now a better 3D visualization of slab strip diagrams, and we have developed special plan view for diagrams. You can model the foundations, and you can consider the foundation model in building analysis automatically. You don't need to iterate between building analysis and foundation models unlike the previous versions. Here in this model, I'm creating a mat foundation by defining a slab inside the sketch lines. I'm choosing the merged foundation model and conducting the building analysis. So after the building analysis is completed, you will see that the foundation model is automatically included in the global building analysis model. All the support definitions are disregarded, and the soil springs are acting as restraints to the building, with the stiffness of shells and frame members in the foundations. I know that you are very fond of Protosteel, so we made it even better with the 2022 version. Now a more performant and modern 64-bit software architecture is brought to you by our team of developers. Also, Protosteel has undergone a complete facelift featuring a modern ribbon toolbar. I can easily say that Protosteel is now even more compatible with usage habits of draftsmen and industry standards, with a spice of Proto expertise on top of it. The new macro gallery makes it a breeze to pick the desired connection type thanks to its categorized views and self-explanatory large thumbnails. Also, it features a recent tab that will populate automatically as you start inserting connections. One of the powerful features of Protosteel is the ability to create user-defined connections and save them for later use in similar joints. We have now developed a new wizard that will make your life even easier when you want to create user-defined connections. Just follow the wizard instructions and you're done. Macro dialogues are now more intelligent in Protosteel 2022. Input fields are now displaying the actual values used in the connection macro. For example, a gray color indicates that the automatically calculated or previous default value is displayed. Red means a new user value is entered, but it is not reflected in the macro yet. Black indicates a user value that is reflected to the macro. You can now use the angle cleat connection to create a simple connection between beams and columns. This connection also supports a detailed design check report. In addition to the standard splice connection, new Protosteel introduces the new bolted end splice connection. This connection may be particularly preferred in the low moments and low tension scenarios. When it comes to end plates, there is a significant amount of variations and design scenarios. You can now insert base plate connections to box and pipe sections. An important usability improvement comes with the object selection in Protosteel. In Protosteel 2022, the selection operation automatically groups the selected objects. You can filter the selection on the fly with respect to different materials, profile names, plate thicknesses, and several other object attributes. Well, this ends my presentation today. Thank you so much for reserving your time to me, and thank you for your participation.